there's this woman who has a black husband. She is white. And she is taking issue because some of the sisters have not been paying attention to her, but also just having direct conversation with her husband. And let me be upfront. People can be with whoever they want to be with. You marry who you want to marry. I'm not the police of anybody's relationship, because I have so many things to do in my life. I don't have that kind of time. And if a person walks around worrying about who you with, they need to get them some business. Obviously, that's just how I feel about it. But we have to talk about reality of the country you're in, the relationship y'all both are in, and just some observations based off of what she's saying that I just want to bring up. Let's check this out.
If you want to know what it's like to be a white woman married to a black man, I'm going to tell you. You're going to get ignored by pretty much any other woman that knows your husband. All of our boys play basketball, so my husband knows a lot of moms, a lot of dads, a lot of coaches, just a lot of people in general, right? I'm not at all the people in general, right? I'm not at all the basketball stuff. We have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, so it doesn't always work out, right? But everyone knows I'm his wife. This is not a secret, okay? So when I do show up, there's people like, oh, hi, how you doing? Stuff like that, right? But I'm just going to throw it out there. 99% older black women will not speak to me. And I'm not being dramatic. I'm talking about I'll be standing right next to my husband and our children, and they'll come up, hi, how you doing? Say hi to my husband or whatever. Even go as far as try to give him a hug and say hello to my children. Will not even look at me or say hello to me. I'm a very friendly person. I'm very outgoing. I'm very nice. I don't have a resting face. I'm very much approachable, okay? So while they're like saying hi to my family and not me, I'm still in the background smiling and being like, yeah, say hi. So they don't even look at me. You can make your own assumptions where that behavior comes from. Happens to me a lot. Literally just this past weekend. Very strange. I myself would never approach somebody else's husband, speak to them, greet them, and ignore his wife standing right next to him. To me, that just screams like disrespect, insecurity, whatever you want to say. I mean, I guess it just comes with the territory. A lot of people don't like interracial relationships, and, to each their own. If you want to walk around with hate and, just not be a very nice person, hey, that's your right.
All right. So the first thing I noticed with this woman is that she got lip injections. So that's the first thing probably the sisters probably noticed with her is that she got lip injections. So, y'all have to understand the sisters have been through a lot at the hands of women like this woman. I'm not saying she did anything to sisters personally, but they have been through a lot. Black women have been ridiculed about their lips, their breasts, their hips, their butt, everything about them, their hair, their skin tone. And by the same group of people who now go pay money to get lip injections. So sometimes you may be dealing with that. And if she's an older black woman, she may even feel a little bit more about it because maybe her parents or even her seen times of the civil rights movement when racism was really up front in your face, and they just still have a hard time with those type of relationships. That's just number one. Some of them may take issue with her because they may say, well, shoot, she couldn't, what happened? Like he couldn't get a sister or whatever. Some people are on that. Not to say what's right, wrong, and different. I'm just telling you what some people are on within our community, right? Number 3, she said that they had a conversation, didn't acknowledge her. Did she even bother to speak to them and say, hi, how you doing? My name is so-and-so. She didn't bother. She just stayed there quiet while they spoke to her husband. That's weird. The next one, your husband didn't acknowledge you and say, hey, my wife's name is, and what's your name? And then you introduce. There's no way that somebody come talk to me and my wife is standing right next to me and I don't say, oh, yeah, this is my wife. And I immediately draw attention to her. I'm not going to let you just beeline to me or whatever. And she's standing right there and you're trying to have a full-fledged conversation. You don't even acknowledge my wife. You just like forget her. I'm just talking to you. And then talking about even hugging and all of that. Come on now. So it's some reason with your man why he's not making people acknowledge you as his wife. the big thing that of course y'all have children and all that too, but like when y'all get into these relationships, let's just have a conversation. You have to understand the reality of the country you're living in, the history of the two communities, the black community and the white community, the beef, the ongoing racism and issues related to that, right? And because of that, you need to have a conversation with that woman, and that woman need to have a conversation with that man to discuss these issues. And can you deal with the looks, the stares, the rolling of the eyes, the comments? Can you deal with that? As a black man, can you deal with the ridicule that's going to come to you as a black man? Can you deal with anti-black white men having issue with you being with your wife there? Can you deal with that? Can you deal with people calling your kids names? Now, and on her side, can you deal with maybe some black people not looking at you in a nice way because they don't like the relationship? They may look at you and him the same way. Can you deal with the men in your community looking at you crazy, calling you names like mud shark and everything else they call y'all, coal burner, all these different names that they call white women who marry or date black men? Can you deal with that? Are you strong enough to endure that for the love you say y'all have? And also, statistically, the black male white woman relationship has the highest divorce rate at 49%. And I understand why. You have a lot of pressures coming from the outside from both communities against you on top of just regular relationship things you're going to go through as a couple. Also, ma'am, you making this video didn't even make the situation better, because when people listen to your video, it's like you couldn't like speak up. You couldn't say, hey, yeah, this is my husband or XYZ. Like, hey, how y'all doing? How you know him? Like whatever the case may be. Then you made it about black women. When people hear that, especially in the black community, and say, oh, you got some racism in you too. That's what you hear, because why did you have to go to TikTok and sit up here and make a video like that and made it completely about that? Why it has to do something with black women? Maybe it's just those particular women. It has I seriously doubt every black woman have treated you that way. And one thing I know about black people, because I know them very well, we treat people nice. We will even speak to a racist. We will. Was it your vibe you giving off? Did you give off entitlement? What did you give off? Because our people will talk to people. All the mess that we've been through with her community historically, we still will give you the benefit of the doubt as a collective of people, unfortunately. We still would do that. Other groups of people have been anti-black to us. We still were like, well, he's not that way. She's not that way. I'm not going to treat them all that way. I'm going to do that. Black people are the most forgiving people on the planet Earth. I've never seen people more forgiving than black people. That's why I say black people is the closest thing to Christ. I've never seen no group of people forgive like black folks have forgiven and given chances to people. So if black people are not messing with you, it's definitely a reason. It's a reason to it. But instead of you internally looking and also asking your husband, why didn't you introduce me to those ladies? Like, why? Like, you should be talking to your husband about that. Because there's no way my wife is going to be standing next to me and I don't. Listen, when people have met me in the street that love the show and my wife is there, I immediately turn to her and say, yeah, this is my wife, and she introduced herself and all of that. I don't just sit up there and chop it up with them 5-10 minutes and have my wife just standing there just looking like awkward. That would show I wouldn't have no respect for her at that moment. No. If my wife is standing there, or even my children are standing there, and anybody come up to me, I'm going to say, yeah, this is my child, this is my wife, this is whatever. These are people who I love and care about. So you say hello to them too. I'm not saying you're going to have a full-fledged conversation with them, but at least, hey, it's just common courtesy just to say hello to people, at least the way I was raised. But she need to talk more to her man, not more so to the sisters on that. But there's so many layers to that relationship that she's in with that particular man. Now, I know some brothers be like, well, when the black woman with the white man, that relationship don't get the scrutiny like a black man and a white woman. Is it right? No, it's not right. But I'm a realist, and I'm talking about reality. And the reality is that relationship gets a lot of scrutiny. The white man can be whatever woman he want to be with, and he can just, nobody looks at him funny, nobody casts him out his community, nobody calls him a sellout or anything. And here's the thing. If she was, I'm going to say the Beckisha types, and she'd been around a lot of black people, and it came across that way, she wouldn't be having that conversation. She would fit right in with them. And that's how I feel about it. I guess if you're going to get you a white woman, get a Beckisha. If you're going to get one. Somebody who can actually fit in with you. Ones that black people look at like, oh yeah, she down, man. She cool. You know what I'm saying? But a Beckisha is not liked by her own community. That woman, that little woman right there, oh yeah, she's still liked by her community, but until they find out that she's with, oh boy, then yeah, then she's going to have a problem. But yeah, you need to talk to your husband about that one, because it's not the sisters, it's your man, and that's something, you know, that it should have basically stayed in your house. It's not good to put all your family business on the internet. Just saying.